Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. With that announcement that they recently made that we're having two fleets in the fleet zone, everyone is panicking now, including myself. Not really panicking necessarily, but we gotta be prepared, guys. I don't want to just take the two GET2 fleets, like Nego and Malevolence. I don't want to put both of them on offense and put garbage fleets on defense. I don't think that's a winning strategy, and so I want to put one of them on defense, and I want to be able to take out both of them if they are on defense, even if I don't have Negotiator available. And so I've been exploring Rebel fleets quite a bit. My Finalizer isn't 7-star yet, so I've been holding off on that. My Type Bomber isn't 7-star yet, so I've been holding off on that, which means lots and lots of Rebel fleets. And in this situation, so I've been able to climb pretty successfully with my current lineup, which is like Home 1 with Millennium Falcon and Biggs and Biston. And what I'm doing now is just taking Biggs out and replacing him with my 7-star Y-Wing. So let's just go to some of this footage, and it looks pretty promising so far. I only have footage against Negotiator, and this isn't necessarily like a definitive how-to guide. It is going to show you most of, I think I make mostly the right moves. I did experiment a little bit, so let's just see. Hopefully you guys find this useful. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys 3 different fights. They're all the same build, a little bit different modding and everything, and I do a little bit different stuff. So the first move we want to do here, you'll find like we need to get Anakin's Undying Loyalty buff from Negotiator. Like we need Negotiator to use that first, and so you can see here, Y-Wing actually just did the debuff on Anakin, and we were able to get him down without Unending Loyalty. So of course Negotiator put it back on, and that's exactly what we want. If it puts days on us, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So he's in stealth. Now we're just kind of biding our time. We don't want to feed Houndstooth too much turn meter, so we're just hitting it instead of 5s. Because 5s can wait. Now I got kind of lucky here. I did a bunch of damage to Anakin, and I was able to just use an AoE from the Falcon to be able to take him out. And once you take Anakin out, that's kind of the win condition. Like that's basically means you've won right there. But of course I continued the fight because I want to see how it goes with all the cleanup. And Negotiator is still a pretty strong fleet. Rebels are pretty fragile fleet sometimes, so you can see the Y-Wing, like every time he uses a basic attack, it taunts. So it's taunting all the time because it's always assisting. Every time Millennium Falcon goes, it calls someone to assist. And so if it's the Y-Wing, it taunts immediately on basic. If it's if it's someone else, then the Y-Wing has an opportunity, as a 35% chance to just assist the person who's assisting. So it's attacking a lot, and you can see I think I made a mistake here. I should have used a cleanse on someone. Probably should have just put it on the Falcon, frankly, but still trying to figure out all the mechanics, all the nuances of this fleet. That was a pretty strong win, though. Like, I didn't lose anyone. I'm guessing I would have gotten close to max banners against that Negotiator fleet. So the next one is probably the toughest Negotiator fleet of these 3 in terms of just relic levels and gear. The next one you'll see it's pretty different. It's lower gear levels, but it's actually harder. So 5s shoots U-Wing. U-Wing puts the buff on, or the debuff on, and I guess the buff on himself. Now Y-Wing is already taunting, so we already hurt Anakin enough to the point where they're gonna get Undying Loyalty. So I put the big debuff onto Houndstooth from Y-Wing, which means that it doesn't get protection at all, which is crazy. Like I just melted that Houndstooth, just nuts when you can just take out Houndstooth that early on in the fight. Generally, you don't want to do that. I did have a different fight earlier in my climb where I didn't really have a great option. I just wanted to try the Y-Wing debuff on Houndstooth, and so I did, and I killed Houndstooth almost immediately. It was nuts. It was so cool. So you can see here, I still brought Cassian in, just because I knew that even though that Clone Sergeant wasn't going to be able to, I wasn't going to be able to dispel the Clone Sergeant's taunt, it just regains it. I knew that Cassian plus my Falcon would just be able to take out that Clone Sergeant all the way anyways, and then someone else could finish off Anakin's ship. And so really, I mean, we can't really delude ourselves. Like, Anakin's ship is the same to their fleet as the Millennium Falcon is to our fleet. Like, if they lose Anakin early on, then it's basically just game over. So once again, this is a pretty efficient win, actually. Y-Wing is also great at regrowing banners. Every time someone goes, they're regrowing like, what, 20% of their protection, which isn't, it's not small. So alright, this last fight is interesting because my opponent does not have max relic levels on all of their ships, and so the turn order it's thrown off completely. So my Falcon actually goes first, and I was like, what do I do? So I targeted the Houndstooth. I don't want Houndstooth to go. I don't want the Houndstooth to take a turn. So if we're hitting Anakin, that means that Houndstooth is going to gain enough turn meter to go. And so I was kind of awkward there. I don't know exactly if this was the right move to make, what the right move was to make. Decided to cleanse Y-Wing though instead of Falcon. I'm not, you guys can offer your opinions later in the comments. I would love to hear. I cleansed Y-Wing because I wanted Y-Wing to be able to gain the taunt, and it had that debuff immunity. So once Falcon goes, of course, you can cleanse himself. And now we're in kind of a weird situation. Like, the Anakin's ship is not very close to death at all, and they do have the undying loyalty. Unending loyalty, I need to figure out which one that is. I'm just using it interchangeably, dear Lord. But one way or another, we're in a kind of a weird place. So we can go in, we can dispel all the debuffs, or all the buffs, so all the taunts can go away if we had Cassian, but we could kill Anakin's ship, and that wouldn't get us anything because he'd just go into stealth and then we'd have to wait forever. So I brought in the Phantom with the hope that Anakin would expire, or like get rid of his unending loyalty by the time I had another reinforcement to call. So that did happen. Anakin is ready. He's primed and ready to go if we can go in and dispel. And we could have just used a mass assist against Anakin, but I got Cassian's ship in anyways, called Falcon to shoot Anakin's ship, and now we're in the pilot seat again. You can see Y-Wing is on death's door, and if this was a 6-star Y-Wing, we would have lost. So honestly, I would just say in general, like a 7-star Y-Wing is probably mandatory to be able to use this fleet against max negotiators. I mean, I know that might be disappointing to a lot of you guys, but you have to think, like, these negotiator fleets are max. Like, if I told you that you needed a 7-star Jedi Knight Anakin's ship to be able to take something out, you wouldn't even bat an eye. So, honestly, Grief is a great character anyways. You should be farming that node. Get it to 7 stars. Really, really super worth it. I didn't come very close to losing any of these matches. The only one I did almost lose was my Y-Wing almost died right away. So, anyways, guys, this is it. I don't want to make the video too much longer. Just wanted to share some footage with you, and hopefully we can all figure out this fleet fiasco together and have a lot of fun in fleets. If that's possible, it's not, but hopefully it becomes that way. So, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.